What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another haircut tutorial. And as you guys can tell, my man is well overdue for a haircut. He usually comes in after letting it grow out. He wears a hat at work all the time, so a lot of times he doesn't even worry about what his hair looks like. But he'll come in, sit down in my chair, tell me to do my thing, send him out looking good, and that's what we do. Today he did actually give me some direction. He mentioned that he wanted to try a hard part with the front going back. I said, all right, let's do it. Set him down, saturated his hair, started combing it, getting it ready for block graduation because we do want to leave weight all the way around on that left side of the hard part, as well on the side that the top will comb over to. So that's what we're doing here, block graduation. And like I've said before, it's probably been a little bit, I'll explain again how I like to do block graduation. I comb up through the hair and I place the hair between my middle finger and my pointer finger. Those two fingers have significance and they both have reasons for their positioning. So the middle finger, I use that as basically the guide as to where I want that weight to fall. And then the pointer finger is angled out away from the head, and that's what determines how much weight you actually leave. So you could place the middle finger and the pointer finger flush to the head and leave some weight, but you're not going to leave much because you haven't over directed the hair out away from the head, which is what's going to cause that weight to be left. So that's what I do. Middle finger is flush to the head. It's kind of the brace, and then it's also the guide as to where that weight gets left. And then the pointer finger is extended out away from the head. You can't really tell from this angle, but it's angled out, and that's what leaves weight. There in the back, I actually do vertical sections instead of the horizontal sections like what you would typically do with block graduation. Just more comfortable and a preference for me. But I'm coming back through here again, making sure that I double check that and get all that weight line consistent throughout. Something to always remember whenever you're doing hard parts or designs, lines have two sides to the line. There's the top part and the bottom part. So make sure, guys, you always flip your trimmer around or whatever you put in hard parts or designs with, and make sure that you hit both parts of that line, the top part and the bottom part. Now, as far as the debulking and the fading of this side goes, we're going to use the cordless senior modified with the Addis master blade. That was an open 3-guard with the Addis. Now here we're using a little bit of clipper over comb, making sure that we tilt this comb out at the top of the teeth there, tilt it out back away from the head some. That over directs the hair out, leaving weight and leaving it darker, but removing some of the bulk that we need to remove at the same time. Now we're going to set in our bald section here. This is the Slimline Pro Li, and then I immediately flip it over and flick that line out. Metal magic clip, wide open, no guard. Set in about a 1-inch section here. You'll close that lever up halfway. Go about halfway up through this open section, and then when you close it up all the way, for me personally, I know that my clippers, this particular magic clip will immediately take out that Slimline flicked out line, so I don't have any troubles taking out bald sections or anything like that. Everything comes out nice and clean. Now here we're taking the 1-guard with the Wahl premium set, and we're flicking out. Once we get to just below that initial 3-guard section, we're going to use the Wahl premium half guard to blend between the open section and that open one. Took that right out. Now this is the Wahl premium 2-guard, really making sure that we scoop out at the top. It's going to really lighten this up just enough to where we can move on. We'll go ahead and get into the back. Now, guys, I do want to ask you, take a second after this video is over, find the link in the description of this video or any of my other videos for the Tomb 45 Online Academy. Take a look at that, see if it's something you may be interested in. You're going to get connected with some of the best barbers out there, such as Dre Cut It Out, Get Beam, Chris Bosio, S-Craft Blends, and Sean Cuts Hair. Those are some of the best guys out there on YouTube doing it, and it gives you direct contact with them, and so you can get way more content on a daily, weekly basis. You'll be able to talk to a lot of other barbers across the country, but those are some of the guys that you'll get connected to. You'll be able to see some of their in-depth tutorials. So check that out, guys. I promise you won't regret it. So when working your way through the top, I like to start on the left side, and then I will use part of the section from that left as I do the middle, and then when I do the right side, I will use part of the section from the middle. That way I have a consistent length throughout the top of the head to work with. I cross-check my work, and each section that I pull back, I pull part of the hair from the previous section. I always have something to refer back to so that I have a consistent length on top. Now, what I'll do here in a second, I actually take my comb, I comb the weight from his hard part over past the line, and then I'm going to run my shears up through the hard part, cleaning that out a little bit more. That way he still maintains his length in the weight, but other than the hair on top, now his hard part will always be visible because that weight can't go up past the part. So we're going to start knocking out this right side. I'm going to use the cordless senior modified with the Andy's master blade. And if you like the sound of that, having a cordless senior but be able to use the master blade, go to @filthyblends on Instagram and you can pick up that modification from there. It's a very simple change out. It takes maybe 5 minutes at most, and it has a huge change because it does allow you to use your cordless senior, your cordless magic clip, your cordless metal magic clip, but with the master blade, which a lot of people like, and you don't have to go out and pay $200 something for a cordless master. So go ahead and check that out @filthyblends on Instagram. You can get to his website from there. On this side here, we did things a tad bit different. We did the open two like we did on the other side, but then I stuck with the one guard open with the purple guards, worked our way down. Then I did the open section, put the bald line in with the slimline, took it immediately out. Now that's what we're working on is fading from that bald line up through the open section. Now to connect that with that open one, we're going to use the Wahl Premium half guard, and then I do come back in here in just a second, use the one guard. There's a darker spot just above where I stopped right there. We're going to lighten that up just a little bit. I don't mind it being a little bit darker. It's not unblended, it's just a little bit darker because we have a connection there between the sides and then the weight from up top. That's what we're doing here. We're using the open one guard. Now I'm going to do a tad bit of clipper over comb just to soften that blend up a little bit more, remove a little bit of bulk, and then we'll get in with the FXs, start debulking that bottom. So I love how close my FXs get because it gives off the appearance of like a shaver bald fade without actually having to apply the shaver. Some clients, don't prefer that. So I'm able to give them kind of the best of both. And then here, you can turn right around, go from debulking the sides and taking it all the way down. And then now you can do sensitive areas like the back of the beard line, underneath the neck, and clean out the hair in the ear. These trimmers kind of do it all. So that's what we did there. We took a comb, over directed that hair past that back line, cleaned it up, set in our bald line for the top. We'll come in below this. We use the FX flipped upside down here. We'll hit the top line, just kind of put a rough draft in. We're going to come in with a razor here in a minute, really put a sharp line on it. But we're going to go and clean that up, clean the cheek hair out. So we started with a closed no guard. That was the magic clip. And we went halfway open, then all the way open, worked our way down. Here's the Wahl Premium 1.5 guard. We went down with the growth of the hair. That just removes a lot of the bulk, kind of sets up the fade at the top of the beard line. Then you flip it over, clean that up a little bit more. Now, back with the FXs. Got my client lean back a little bit. We're going to set our line up on the bottom. And you guys can tell from this angle how nice those corners make a beard look whenever you've got it nice and sharp. Once again, cleaning up that back line. We'll over direct that beard hair past it just to make sure that we get it the same as the other side. So regardless of which side he lays on or brushes it, it's always going to be a sharp line. We'll hit that top line, set it up, just a rough draft so we can come in with the razor in a second, and then we'll fade it out from there. So here in a second, guys, pay attention. I'm actually doing the underneath line, and I'm trying to match this side up to the other side. But I noticed that my client's head was tilted a little bit, which was causing some trouble making sure that these lines were even right here. Make sure, guys, if you feel that your client's sitting crooked or they're leaning off to one side or the other, do not be afraid to either adjust them yourself or ask them to sit up straight or tilt their head in whichever direction you need them to. All you're trying to do is give them the best haircut that you can, and if that means that they need to sit up straighter or to tilt their head over one way or the other, then that's what they need to do. They need to understand that all you're trying to do is just give them the best haircut that you can give them. So now that we had already put that rough draft top line in with the FXs, we're going to come in, add shave gel, apply it evenly throughout that top part of the line. We're going to grab our exposed blade straight razor, stretch the skin, hold the razor at a 45-degree angle, and bring that blade back to the line, keeping everything consistent. We'll do the same thing on this side as well. And what I like to do, I like to stretch the skin tight enough to where it almost makes that curved line a straight line across. That way that I know everything matches up, and then when I release the skin, everything falls back into its natural place. So you have a nice sharp line. Here we applied some paste. We're going to use a fine-tooth comb, really work it throughout the hair, making sure that we get it evenly distributed, and then we'll style it. So I think this angle really shows how important it is to leave that weight on the left side of the hard part and then travel that all the way around to the right side so that the top has something to lay over into. Guys, I apologize if it offends anybody, but I just do not like those hairstyles where they run a 2-guard or a 1.5 all the way up to the hard part and travel that all the way around. It just looks like you're bald halfway up the side of your head, and then you just have this shelf of hair sitting up on top. Just don't think that looks professional. It looks undone or just rushed, cookie cutter style. It's not for me, so I apologize to anybody if they take offense to that. It is what it is. Take a second, guys. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this haircut. Let me know if you think I did my man justice. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Enable those notifications. That way you never miss another video from me. Sunday and Wednesday is the schedule. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't. And until the next video, guys, I appreciate it.